Good evening. Welcome to the Trails Committee meeting on September 27th. I'm calling the meeting to order at 7:35.
I'm here.
Great. So we're going to do a roll call. When I call your name, let me know you're here. Isabella Bogdansky.
Here.
Satyendra Sharma.
Here.
Will Warren.
Here.
Kat McKee here. Great. So thank you all. Okay, so our first order of business is to elect officers. And unfortunately, Tom Mclear can't join us today, but I did talk to him and he's comfortable with us moving forward with the recommendations that we're going to propose. And I will start by making a motion to, and I guess we can do this, I think we can, let's do this separately and then we'll record the votes by 3 votes for 3 different offices. So first, I make a motion that we elect Satyendra Sharma as the clerk/secretary, however you want to refer to that position.
Second.
Great. And let's do a roll call vote. Will Warren.
Aye.
Isabella Bogdansky.
Yes.
Satyendra Sharma.
Yes.
And Kat McKee, yes. Great. So welcome to your new position, old position. Okay. Second nomination, I'd like to nominate Tom Mclear as the vice chair. Someone
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion?
No.
Nope.
Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Will Warren,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
and Kat McKee, yes. And then we have the chair, but I don't think, I would like to continue to serve as the chair, but I don't feel comfortable making the motion. So if the committee is comfortable with me continuing in that position,
We're very comfortable.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for Kat McKee to remain as chair of the Trails Committee.
Second.
Great. And roll call vote, Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Will Warren,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
and Kat McKee, yes. If I can vote for myself.
Okay. No takebacks.
No takebacks, yes. Okay, great. So now we are a fully formed committee again.
Woo.
Thank you. That was, I don't know. For me, it was a little like we were in limbo for a few days, but now we're back. Good. Okay. So next order of business is approving the minutes from 9/13. Sati, thank you so much for drafting those. Has everyone had an opportunity to review, or would you like me to pull up on the screen?
Had the opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah,
And-
they look good.
Any edits or misspellings of Isabella Bogdansky's name?
No, you got it all right this time, Sati.
And last time was my fault. Just for the record.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay. It's okay.
Okay, great. So, okay, so can someone make a motion to approve the minutes from 9/13/2022?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from 9, whatever.
Yeah, so moved. Okay. And someone wants a second?
I'll second.
Great, and roll call vote, Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Will Warren,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
and Kat McKee. Yes, great, minutes approved. Moving right along. Okay, so our next order of business is going to be fairly quick, but I do want to show you what we're working with. So I'm going to share my screen after I pull it up. I've learned my lesson of showing confidential information I'm not supposed to. Let's see. This one. Okay. So let me know that you can see a memorandum of agreement.
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is a memorandum of agreement from DCR with the town of Southborough for trail maintenance, and the Trails Committee would be acting on behalf of the town to maintain the trails. We had an agreement in place since 2016. It expired in 2021. That allows us to do the trail maintenance that we typically do on the DCR trails. So most of it's pretty standard. But I was approached by Sudbury Valley trustees and the Westboro Community Land Trust, who also work with DCR on the same capacity on lands that are owned, but they manage the trails. And they had some concerns that were raised by their legal counsel. So our legal counsel also raised some concerns, mostly around the indemnification, stating that the town of Southborough cannot indemnify the state agency. So that was a flag. Sudbury Valley trustees and Westboro Community Land Trust had concerns about the notification period and time frame that they had indicated in the agreement. It wasn't enough time for a nonprofit to gather their members, make a decision and act. So they asked for more time. But what we noticed when we met and talked about these agreements is that even though the template is very similar in nature, all of the notices to alert DCR or to act in a certain number of days were different with each of the organizations. So we thought it made sense, and it might be easier for DCR if all of the dates and time frame, not dates, but the time frames were the same. So I want to take us through just briefly some of those time frames and let you understand what we're working with. Last Wednesday, the legal counsel had his open hours in town, and I had requested a legal review of the document. So I went in with the document after the meeting with SPT and WCLT and asked him if he agreed with the changes that we were going to propose and in making sure that Southborough's interests were protected, and he was in agreement and provided some additional language where we had some concerns. So I'll just quickly take us through what we wanted to talk about. So termination. So the agreement may be terminated by either party. I think that the agreement, that what we'd like to do is 30 days versus 14 days for any notice. And that's just kind of standard contract language. So the town may be granted the right to cure any condition causing material breach by commencing efforts to cure such condition within, and I think initially it was 48 hours. So we can't act within 48 hours of time frame. Like we can't get a meeting in 48 hours. We can't connect with a select board. They don't have time. So the group decided 10 days would be more appropriate for that. And where they say, if the condition cannot be cured within 30 days, the town must provide written notice to DCR. And they had indicated for us, I forget if it was 20 calendar days. So SVT and WCLT wanted 60 calendar days. So we've put that in there. And then the other piece here was we deleted the word commissioner. So the grant of additional time is within the sole discretion of DCR commissioner. The commissioner has changed, the position commissioner has changed multiple times in a short period of time. And given all that the commissioner oversees, we thought that that might be more of a bottleneck. So we're requesting the word commissioner be struck and that DCR in general be who can grant sole discretion of, so that it doesn't get caught up in some delayed process. And historically, DCR has had, some delays and difficulties in meeting, just kind of a quick turnaround. So we wanted to try to make this as broad as possible and work within the limitations that we have seen actually happen for the communities. So those are any questions on some of those changes?
I mean, this is a tried and true agreement that they're putting out, right?
The agreement is, but it's different. Yes, it's similar to the one we had in place before, but it's changed a little bit. They added indemnification, that's new, and they've added some other little things. But this section in particular, the idea of the communities wanted to get together and suggest the same terms for all of the communities that are working within the Burrows loop, for example. So that's for these other entities, these timeframes work better for them. And, STC, it would work better in the sense of more time is better than less time, given what we know about our administrative constraints.
Well, the reason I ask that is just, do other towns make these changes or?
I think so. Yes. Well, yes. So the legal counsel for SVT recommended some of the changes in here as well, and that support is supported by our counsel based on our conversation.
So we have high hopes that they will approve the changes we're making, right?
That's a big question mark and a good question. Anytime you negotiate a contract with the state, it can be tricky, right? But I think our premise and what we're going to be, we're collectively going to DCR as 4 entities. So Marlboro is coming in on it, SVT and WCLT and Southborough Trails. We're all 3 getting together and saying, hey, DCR, we want to make these more standardize the agreement. We think it will be easier for you to manage so that you don't have 4 different terms for 4 different towns, but it's also better for the communities because we can't act within this time frame that you've suggested. So whether we will be successful is a question mark, but we're approaching it in a really positive way. And the requests that we're making are not unrealistic or unreasonable.
Okay, I just, I guess the other question I have is that usually when you come back and you make a counter offer on a, something like this, they have to get their lawyers involved, and then it can take a long time. I mean, if it takes a long time, is that okay with us?
So it's a good question. We don't want it to take a long time, but we want to get it right. And we want it to work so that if anything were to happen, that we have done our thoughtful due diligence to ensure that we can actually meet the timelines they're putting forward. So it may take some time, but we're also waiting on the grant contracting and stuff. So we do need this in place in order to proceed with our bigger project. But I don't know how long it's going to take. Their lawyers, when we did the first red line, when I sent back our red line, it only took a week or 2 for them to get back to us. So it does depend on their timetable. But I don't think we're going to be talking years because, John Scannell got these agreements out to 3 communities in relatively short time frame from when the public access plan was approved. So that's good, positive experience in the most recent months.
Okay.
It could take a long time, but we hope it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so nothing much with these. This is just standard contract language. So this section 2, so they ask for a written work plan of all trail activities, and DCR asked that we not do it this year, but we start in 2023. So we'll submit a work plan for the trails that we're going to maintain, and they'll say yay or nay. This work plan will also include, in this specific case for STC, will include our work on the Peninsula Trail. So the fencing and the bridge and the footbridge. Well, actually the footbridge and the boardwalk may not be DCR because that's on MWA's property, but the fencing and stuff and the signage that we're going to be doing will be included in the 2023 work plan. So one of the points that SVT and WCLT brought up was this said annual work plan. And in some cases, if we're going after grants and stuff, it's a multi-year work plan. So the groups wanted to kind of make that broader, right? So we're adding multi-year work plan here. And then the other thing is sometimes things do get caught up in bottleneck. So we're asking that the review not be unreasonably withheld. And then just commencing in 2023 was just to clarify, because this agreement here does not have an attachment B. So our legal counsel flagged that, like if it doesn't have an attachment B, why is it here? So we just added commencing in 2023 to be really clear about that. Any questions or thoughts? Okay.
No, I guess, so what does this really obligate us to?
This gives us the authority to maintain the trails in Southborough that are owned by DCR.
And is there a
right to go on the property and do maintenance?
okay, and are they going to like review our work?
No.
No. Okay.
No, and they haven't. So this is just the paperwork behind what we're doing day to day now. Nothing will change.
Okay.
Great.
So is the fencing part, is it we are doing this agreement because there is a fencing
No.
factor involved which lies on the DCR land, or I mean
No.
we have
We- Yeah, this agreement was in place already, right?
Mhm.
So it's just part of they have a public access plan in general for the land. And then the agreement gives the town of Southborough and the Trails Committee the right to do trail maintenance on their property and to help maintain the trails. And then it assigns liability and and whatnot, and waives liability, and assume, we assume the risk that we need to take. Answer that question?
Yeah.
Great. Okay. So coming up here, again, this work plan is just referenced as the paragraph above, so it's consistent. And then all of this is pretty standard stuff. The lawyer did not have any issues. Okay, so down here this is the new section, the indemnification section, and everyone gets, up in arms when there's an indemnification section. So the bottom line is our attorney said the town cannot indemnify the state. So we struck paragraphs that referenced indemnification. That is going to cause, some pushback from DCR. So that's where, to your point, Will, the negotiation might get lengthy if, DCR stands strong requiring that, but we have 4 communities that are saying, no, we're not going to do that. We can't do that. Our lawyers, it's ill-advised to do that. So let's find a different way. So our lawyers recommended, instead of indemnification, we call it release and assumption of risk, and then we just struck the indemnification pieces here. So that's what that is.
What kind of things would we indemnify them for?
Well, so to read the section that I struck, just to give you a sense, the town shall indemnify, defend, and hold harmless the Commonwealth, including DCR, its agents, officers, and employees for any and all injuries, losses, claims, actions, damages, liabilities, costs, or expenses, including without limitation, attorney's fees, costs, collectively claims, to the extent such claims arise out of any failure to act or occupancy of the premises or its whatever that word is, by the town, its contractors, agents, representatives, employees, licensees, guests, invitees, unless said claims arise solely out of or are solely the result of gross negligence or willful, wanton, or reckless conduct of DCR or its employees. So that's one section. The town further expressly agrees not to make any claims against the Commonwealth or DCR for any injury, loss, or damage to persons, including bodily injury or death, or damage to property, or in connection with compliance with any existing law arising out of the agreement or the occupancy or use of the premises by the town as contractors, agents, representatives, employees, licensees, guests, invitees, unless said claims solely arise out of or the result of willful, wanton, and reckless conduct of DCR and its employees, and another little indemnification piece. So you kind of get the idea that the town can't waive that, but we do have a certificate of insurance listing DCR as the additional insured. And we do assume in this paragraph all risk in connection with and any all activities that engages on the premises. So that this paragraph as it is similar, more similar to the one we had signed last time. And we just struck the indemnification pieces.
I mean, it sounds like they would seek indemnification if we did something stupid in the way we maintained the trail and they got sued as a result.
Right. But our insurance will cover that, any negligence on our part, because they will be listed as the additional insured, and that should be satisfactory.
So
Yeah.
you're including like the details of the insurance we're getting, right?
Yes, so the next section details that, and they require the town to have, and this is pretty standard, stuff, $1 million per occurrence for the liability, $2 million in aggregate for general liability, and then additional insurance that's prudent considering the operation and obligations of the town. So yeah, so this is just standard language here.
This is what we added, or it has come from DCR?
This is DCR, and this is
Oh.
the same as it was in the last agreement.
Okay, no, why am I'm asking the insurance part?
It hasn't
It
changed.
was there earlier, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's that. And then this all is fine the way that is written. The lawyers did not have, this is standard contract language. They didn't have issues here. And then notices to the different individuals. So that's really that. It's not a lot, but I think the indemnification is a tricky conversation to have. So like I said, as a group, we're going to collectively reach out to John Scannell and let him know what we're trying to accomplish, and that we hope that, he'll take that back to the attorneys and see where we end up.
So they were requiring us to not only have insurance, but to indemnify them.
Correct. But I think Yeah, I won't try to explain how the lawyer explained it, because I'm there with them. I understand, like, something about, it was the SVT's lawyer said that their liability is capped anyway, so it doesn't need to be indemnified by us. And I can't go into much more than that, because it's just getting above my understanding, because we only had a quick meeting. And I didn't have a lot of time with our counsel to talk about that stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that any proposed changes he was comfortable with, and that it was, not putting Southborough in any additional.
Well, I
treatment
guess,
for liability.
I guess the operative question here is, have other towns signed up to both indemnify and have insurance? And then the other question would be, has the state gotten burned where they didn't get indemnified, right? Or has there been instances where the state was rescued by being indemnified?
Right. Well, one good example is working with the Southborough and Trails Committee in the last agreement, and perhaps the one before that, there was no indemnification clause and no issues.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking this may be an overzealous lawyer?
It could be, and it could be, yeah. So it could be that, every organization will go through a change every several years or so, that, oh, let's put this new clause in, let's do this. And, they just decide that it's a better approach for their agreements. But sometimes that creates problems for us. So that's why we're talking about it, and trying to make it not only consistent for all the communities, but also not do something that we're not actually allowed to put into an agreement for our legal counsel. It's not advisable to do.
Right. I mean, I'm all for not indemnifying them, right? And I just, my only concern would be that this turns out to be that they have decided that they absolutely have to have it or something like that, in which case that would be
And
real-
if it comes down to that, I mean, it will be a negotiation, and we'll have to have our lawyers talk to their lawyers. We're not going to negotiate. We're not going to be the middleman for legal ease, for that type of stuff. It's going to have to be lawyer to lawyer. So if we get to that, I hope we don't, but we'll just see where we go. And I hope that it doesn't take a long time, but we'll see. I'm
right.
going to remain positive until I need to be non-positive.
Okay.
Sati, for the record, Sam Stivers is in the attendees.
Okay.
Hi, Sam, and welcome. Okay, so any other questions about the agreement? This is now, SVT is going to be reaching out to DCR on our behalf, all the community's behalf, on Monday, and then we'll continue the conversation from there. Okay, great. So I'll keep you updated on that. All right, so Heritage Day 2022 planning, and the next topic is the guided history hike. We're going to kind of merge these because they're happening at the same time-ish and they relate to one another. So I circulated the Heritage Day, the hike that's happening on 10/8, Saturday 8. So that registration is now live. So please do take a look at the registration page, and please let me know if you see any typos. If you can make it on Saturday at 10, go ahead and register, and go through the registration page itself. And I put some questions in there to get some information. One is, are you interested in signing up for our email e-alerts through Southborough? Yes or no? And if they say yes, then we can add them to the email distribution list to get announcements. I also asked if they were currently following us on Facebook. If not, would they be interested in directing them to do that? And I asked if they wanted to be on the volunteer, like Adopt a Trail, if they were interested in learning more about that program. And I said they weren't volunteering for anything, no commitments, just if you wanted to learn more. So, and what town they're from, so that we could understand where they're coming from.
So this is up on the website?
Not on the website yet. We will make an announcement with our e-alert, so that will be on the website shortly. But I just submitted it to Facebook. So I just did a Facebook post as the first stage of our outreach program.
Okay.
Or process. And so what we'll do next is reach out to our standard outreach partners. I talked to Tim Davis with Recreation. He'll post it on Rec's Facebook page. I'll reach out to the library and ask Ryan to post it to their page. And we can ask the town to do a town-wide alert. Through their alert system. They have a broader distribution list than just trails. and my Southborough. I'd like them. So we're kind of using this hike as a kickoff to the trail is now open to the public, right? So the first 2 times we did this hike, it was a sneak peek to this future trail. Now the hike says, that registration page says, you know, come celebrate with us. This new trail is now open. So my Southborough has been waiting for us to share information with them about the opening of the trail. And this is kind of the way to do it. So I'm going to reach out to her with a little blurb and how to, you know, what has happened and what will be transpiring, so she can make an announcement in her blog when she's available to do so. Okay, and I thought it might be, we might be able to wrap this up into personal invites to members of the select board and advisory, CPC. We already talked to historical. I'll talk to you in a minute about that, and just invite them because they've been so supportive of our initiatives. And we've recently had some support for ARPA money. Let them, you know, invite them to come see the trail firsthand, to see what they're helping to fund. And last year, Andrew Dennington joined us, which was nice, from the select board. So we'll see if there's some, you know, individual invitations that we can share with them. And also I thought, because we need to reestablish, and this will ring a bell with you, we need to reestablish our relationship with Framingham Conservation Commission that is being restructured. Remember from the Trail Summit, we talked to the Framingham commissioner. I forget what his name is Starkey, but I forget what his exact title was. But he was the one in charge of the Conservation Commission, and noted that everyone had resigned, and so they were rebuilding it. So that means we have to partner with them to get the footbridge installed. So we might want to invite them and say, hey, if anyone's interested in joining us, come on out and see the trail, and we can talk about the project, and you can orient yourself. And it may or may not work, but it's worth a try. And a personal invite is always, you know, a nice touch, and we can say, yeah, so that's that. Any thoughts or questions?
Why did everybody resign?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the inside story. I know the chair of the commission retired, so that was just his standard, you know, I gotta go. And then I don't know what the story is with the other commissioners, if it was just coincidence. I mean, our commission also had a big turnover this year. It could just be coincidence. Yeah. Yeah. So and on that topic, I reached out to the historical commission, as we had talked about last time. I attended their last meeting and invited them to, I asked them if they wanted to partner with us, and if they wanted to have a representative of historical join us to either research and learn about the history of the Sudbury Reservoir and the dam, and share and layer on more information to what Andy Leahy, the ranger who's leading the hike from DCR, if they wanted to do that. And they were interested in attending. They couldn't commit to research or speaking about the history, and that was fine. So I said, you know, whatever you guys want to do. But I did invite them because, and I reminded them, and I used it as an opportunity to say, hey, you had provided a couple of letters of support. You may or may not remember that, and we're going to be doing some interpretive signage, and we need your support. You know, I'm just reminding you that we had this arrangement, and we're going to need some support to finalize the text and get your perspective on things. And they were completely supportive of all that. Grant Farrington is a member of the commission, and he's interested in attending, and Annie Pfaff may or may not be able to attend. So there was some interest there. They did recommend that we reach out to the Historical Society, which is not a town board or organization. I think it's a nonprofit that's just a standalone. The chair is Michael Weischen, and the vice president is Sally Waters. And we happen to work with Sally Waters because she's associated with the Southborough Open Land Foundation. So we'd worked with her on the Templeman-Watkins Loop Trail last year. So I reached out to her and said, hey, we're doing this, that, and the other. Would you have, you know, the commission recommended we reach out to you. Do you have any information about the building of the dam, the building of the reservoir, and in particular, the people affected by the building of the dam and the reservoir. For example, a lot of the land was taken as eminent domain. What was it like to be a person back then, to have your community or town, chosen to be the reservoir? And I was, interested in understanding the people's perspective and if they had any information on that. So Sally said she's quite busy doing a couple of other projects, but if she could find some resources, she would share. And I said, we're happy to do whatever research we can do. If you could point us to some resources that are available for us to kind of search through, that may or may not happen. And so what I did, I said, no pressure for the hike, but if the longer term, we're still interested because we're doing this interpretive signage and could use any insight you have. So I've made that connection, and we'll see what turns out from that.
Okay.
Okay. So Heritage Day. So I think it's kind of fun. So we're having the hike on Saturday, and just for a caveat, I'm not sure how many people take off that weekend to go places, but it's not the entire 10,000 people. So I'm assuming there's going to be some people around. We might have less than we've had in the past because it is a holiday weekend. But I'm willing to give it a try. And even if we have a smaller group, it actually will work out a little bit better because larger groups are harder to hear. Sometimes when you have one speaker and you have, traditionally we've had 30 or 40 people come to these hikes, and it's a little hard to hear at times. So a smaller, more intimate hike would not be a bad thing. And we'll be positive about all of it.
Mm.
Yeah. So I can go. Does anyone else know if you can go? It's Saturday, October 8th at 10 a.m.
I can probably go.
Okay.
I'll let you know maybe by next week.
Okay, that's fine.
I think I'll be able to make it as well.
Wonderful. And if you can make it for some, that's fine. You don't have to be there for all. It's about 3.2 miles round trip, and it'll take about a couple hours. So whatever time you can give would be great. Having said that, I was just remembering something. Oh, yes. So it is hunting season. It's archery season, right? So in the registration, I made sure I noted that, but I said, don't worry. We're all going to wear our beautiful orange blaze orange, and we'll have some vests. I reached out to Tim Davis. The recreation has some vests that we can use and lend out. So we'll do that. And we hosted it during archery season back in 2019. And we didn't have any issues. And I reached out to my best friend who is a hunter in North Carolina. Her husband hunts a lot. And I reconfirmed that most hunting takes place early morning or evening, right? So this is at 10 a.m. and we might run into somebody, but hunters are very respectful if they're in an area that has some population. So we're not really concerned that arrows are going to be passing us or doing anything crazy. So I just made a note of that just to help, concerns. Some people won't come because of that, but we had 40 people show up at that hike. We were all in orange, and it made for a fun picture.
So I shouldn't wear my Halloween deer costume, is what you're telling me.
That's up to you, Will. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
They might miss me. You never know.
There might be an oops, and that will be a problem.
Okay, so the fun part is I'm going to share my screen again. So we talked about having a raffle, and I'm going to share. Let's see. Let me know when you can see an Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
Okay. Great. So we talked about having a raffle and using Heritage Day as a way to leverage, and reach out to some community members or businesses to ask for gift cards or donations and such that we can use in the raffle.
Mhm.
And so since then, I did mention this to the legal counsel when we were there to ensure that we were following complete and proper protocol. And so what we've ended up doing or deciding is the best practice. And I spoke with Mark Purple about this, and we can put it on the next agenda for the select board. I'll submit this tonight, this request tonight to them, is any donations that we receive via a gift card will be then submitted to the select board. They'll vote to receive that donation on behalf of Trails Committee, and then we'll go forth and do our thing. And so what we have so far is Bella, why don't you tell us what you were able to do with the New England Botanical Garden at Tower Hill?
So I was able to secure us 4 general admission tickets for the general public. They are exempt from special events, including nightlights. But yeah, 4 tickets. So that's pretty
awesome.
Exciting.
Yeah, that is very generous. And we'll make sure we write personal thank you notes to these these businesses that are providing this,
Yes, and I got a little hint if we want to make it on the thank you wall card of thank you card wall Hall of Fame.
Oh, there
is. There. Add a picture of a dog. So add some dogs in there. We'll definitely make it on the wall.
Why dogs?
Aiden loves dogs. He loves dogs.
All right. Well, we happen to have a Trails Committee member with a couple dogs, and he happens to have a couple of really cute pictures of those dogs. So I think we can make that work. Now, is he
Perfect.
partial to dogs? Like if we sent some cat pictures, would he be all like, no?
Oh, the more pets, the merrier.
Okay. I want to include my kitties.
Yes, of course.
We could do a collage. That would be great.
That would be really cute. Yeah, let's do it.
So thank you, Bella. That's really awesome. So we need to figure out how we'll, like, if we give them out in pairs, or do we give it out as a set of 4? We can talk about in just a few minutes. I stopped by Nan's Market, and Nan's Market is a new business in Southborough. So one of our objectives was, and what's kind of come out of this idea is supporting local businesses, right? And so Nan's Market is new. I stopped by and I told her what we were trying to accomplish, and she provided a $50 gift certificate, which was super awesome. I also reached out to our former Trails Committee member, Louisa, and she provided or offered 2 gift certificates for massage therapy. I'm still waiting to hear back from her on value. I put an estimate of what the value might be, and this might be a low ball. So that was really nice of Louisa. So we have right now one, Nan's, the New England Botanical Garden, and the wellness therapy. I did reach out to a couple of other businesses. I have not heard back. But we're kind of at the cusp where we need to submit our request to the town, to the select board for next week's meeting. So we could add, and we talked about adding, something from REI, like a pair of trekking poles, or, something hiking related, a walking stick or something like that. And we can still do something like that if the committee wants to. And we had agreed to spend up to 50, but no more than 50 on that item. So we could do a gift certificate to one of these locations, or we could purchase some gear. Do you, something like that? Do you guys have a preference on what we do with that?
No. Do we have a shed yet? Or are we still waiting on the shed?
It's number 8 on the agenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we do have a shed, and we're getting it delivered shortly, but I'll share that news shortly. So
Okay, I'll forget what you just said. All right.
You have to wait for it. So do you guys want to do gift certificates to like REI or to somebody else, or buy something? What do you think?
Gift certificates will be good.
You like
Yeah.
gift certificates? I do too.
I agree. Maybe like a gift certificate for a hiking poles or something. I don't know if we can specify, but
Yeah, I don't think we can. So maybe, and we could do 2 $25 gift certificates if we wanted to
true.
To spread, to kind of give us a couple of items to draw the crowd. So one might be REI. I'll let you guys, someone suggest something else for 'em. Is there another local business that we could sponsor and like purchase a gift certificate from to get people there? I went to the town website to grab the local businesses that I didn't know we had here in town. And so.
What was one of the ones you found that you didn't know about?
Wolf Hill Farm. Do you know that place?
No.
Yeah. I mean, it says it's in Southborough and it does Christmas trees, and they open up in mid-September, and I reached out on Facebook and said, hey, want to do a gift certificate? Didn't hear back, yeah. And then another one was, I think it's the bagel place. Are you guys familiar with the bagel place?
New York Bagels?
Maybe.
Is that the one on Route 9,
Red-
east or west?
Are
There's
there
one.
two?
There's one right next to maybe it's New York Bagel. I don't know. The sign
Yes.
is confusing. It's right next to the golf course or the driving range.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm not sure where they are. They're somewhere in Southborough.
Near Red Barn Coffee, I think that's the New York Bagel.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but I didn't hear back from them, so that's fine. All right. I can choose something if that's helpful and make it $25. That work? So that would be roughly 322. So that's a nice number. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on how we do 5, it could be 6 or 7 gifts. Okay, so what are we going to do with this? How do we run the raffle? And I got some ideas from Miss Bella because she's really creative like this. And what I was hoping we could accomplish, and I talked to the lawyer about this to make sure it wasn't illegal, but I'd like to drive traffic to our Facebook page, increase our followers. You often see types of, I see you rolling your eyes, Will. Or our email distribution list if people are on Facebook, so equal opportunity, right? But if you're not on both, I can't help you. So I wanted to see if we could push to increase our followers. And the reason being, the more followers we have, the bigger outreach we will have with our community. We'll be able to reach more people about our hikes, what's happening on trails, and they can stay up to date on what's going on. So I'm going to let that sit and let you tell me what you think.
That sounds fine. I guess, we might want to try and co-opt the Trailblazers through the senior center, try and get them interested in signing up to follow us.
Ooh, yes.
Because they're interested in hiking. And then I guess the other thing is maybe we could somehow get a hook into the Boy Girl Scouts.
Yes. Okay. So what I'm confused about is how we manage this, because right now we have 565 followers on Facebook, right? And I was thinking we would do Facebook or the e-alerts, but we don't have access to the e-alert list, right? So we can't easily get the e-alert list.
The alerts to the town?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Why not?
Because the e-alerts are supposed to be for serious stuff.
Oh,
Right?
no, it could be, no. So e-alerts, so there's two things. One is the all towns e-alert, like if there's, something wrong, but it's also to stay alert and aware of each of the committee's business. If you happen to have an interest for the open space and stewardship and trails, you can sign up to receive agendas, minutes, or news and announcements.
Now, when you say sign up, is that through Tim Litt's thing, or is that through something else?
It is through the town website.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm on, can you see my screen? Probably not, because,
Hold on.
hang on, where is it? Stop share, let me share again. This, okay, great. So everyone see the website?
Yeah.
Okay, so down here in the little Citizen Action Center, sign up for e-alerts. So I click on it. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, the service is a way of keeping residents informed of important notices. So you enter your name and your email rather, and then you sign up for urgent alerts. That's what you're referring to, Will, or news and announcements from each of these committees. right?
And are we not on the list?
Yeah, we are.
So I guess we can mark this one done.
Wait a minute. Yeah, trails right here.
Yeah, to the-
Yep, so the select board trails, and then you can go further if you want to get the meeting agenda. If you want to get notified, like if you're the trails committee and you want to know when the agenda's posted, you sign up. And you'll get an email that says it's been posted. Or if you want to know when the minutes have been posted, you do the same. See meeting minutes down here. And it's super awesome. And so
Yeah.
each Heritage Day, we have a sign up form and we ask people, do you want to learn, want to sign up for e-alerts? And then they fill out their information. And then I go and sign them up for news and announcements of trails. And each year we grow our news and announcements distribution list.
You can actually sign someone else up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
I can with their permission.
it just asks for email. It doesn't really confirm that it's really your email. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, you have to your email, confirm email, and then confirm you're not a robot.
Yeah, you might, we're gonna do this on Heritage Day.
Yeah. Well, so that's a good question. Is like, if we do this, if we do it as a Facebook social media increased followership thing, followers, then we can do it now between now and Heritage Day and announce the winner at Heritage Day winners as one option.
I'm sorry, the winners of the raffle?
Yeah. Right. So for example, let's just focus on, say the thing with the e-alerts is I like being able to include it, but we don't have information on who's already on the list. We can't get that information easily. We don't know who's signing up when. It's not in our control. So I don't think the e-alerts, as much as I'd like to have them in the raffle, is going to work for us. So if we focus, for example, on Facebook, and I apologize who that eliminates, but if we focus on Facebook and we ask people to like the post, we ask people to either follow us and tag someone in the post and ask them, like tag a friend, share the post, tag a friend type of thing, and then have them do that to enter the contest.
Well, one thought here, I don't know what the range is, but I'm just wondering if we could actually have a laptop there with a link, Wi-Fi link into the library.
We can have a computer there and we can do a hotspot with a phone for them to
Or-
sign up directly, you mean?
Yeah, so they could actually, we
Okay.
could, we could say, here's what it is, and would you like to sign up? And they could sign themselves up.
Okay. I
Or
like
we
that.
could,
That's a
we
great
could
way.
sign them up, while they're there.
Okay.
And you could also have the, the Facebook thing as well and show them the page or whatever. So,
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
more stuff to talk about, and it might be some instant action.
I like
Just to say, hey, if you want to know about what we're doing and you want to hear about hikes and things,
Yeah.
Here's 2 different venues that you can do.
Yeah.
And if you want to sign up for e-alerts, but you haven't seen it or done it before, you could do it right now.
I like it. That's great, Will. That's perfect. That's a great way of saying how to enter it during and not having to control that list. I like it.
Right. Well, but some people will say, we can offer the option that we'll sign them up. But other people might say, hey, I haven't really heard about this before. And, we could just show it to them. Right. So it's just, it would just appeal to different people. Some people are going to say, oh, you got a Facebook page. What should I look up? And, we can hand out a sticker or something that's got the Facebook stuff on it. We could also hand out a sticker that has this on it as well. These are ways to get in touch with your trails committee, right?
Yep. I like it. Oh,
So it would be a way to get people going. Now I'm not exactly sure what the raffle connection was.
Well, you enter so you enter your name by following us on Facebook or entering, signing up for e-alerts. That's 2 ways to enter.
But how do we know that they signed up for e-alerts if they do it at home?
we don't, because that's going to be a Heritage Day only opportunity. Because we
Okay,
can't,
all right, if they
Right.
ask us to sign them up, or if they do it right there.
exactly.
Yep, okay, good.
We can't
Awesome.
know if they do it offline, so we don't want to get into that. So
Okay,
it's a Heritage
yep.
Day only thing. You can sign up for e-alerts here or Facebook follower. And so regarding the Facebook followers, I think what I could do is I can't easily export the 565 followers we have now into any kind of CSV or Excel file.
Why not?
I don't know why not. It's just I'm not finding an option to do that. So
Can you see them on the screen?
I can.
Um,
So I could do some screenshots, right?
well, you could copy the text off the screen and paste it into like a text document or something, and then we can wrangle that. If you did that, I would wrangle it into a CSV for you.
Okay, that might be an option. And the reason I would need, so there's a couple of considerations is one, we have 565 people already following us. And do we want to include them in the raffle just because they are already following us and it's a benefit? And they can
Sure.
put their name in the random pot, right? And then any new followers will also put their name in. And then we do this, they have a random name selector. I don't exactly know how it works, but that spits out for these types of raffles, that just spits out random names. And the first 7 or so that come out will win the gift certificates.
Well, you give it a list of names, right?
I give it a list of names. Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's just taking the list and spitting out, selecting the 5th, the 15th, and the 28th.
Exactly.
Right. Awesome.
But we need a way to communicate with these people. So if they're not on Facebook, then I need their email addresses because I need to know how to send them the information if they win, right? We need
Right.
identifying information. So,
Right. And then we can give them a little sticker or something that has this information. If they want to do it at home, fine. Right. And then I guess the other thing we could,
well, I don't know if they can do it at home if it's Heritage Day, right? They have to do it there because we're going to
Yeah.
make the announcement, I think.
oh,
I
okay.
guess that's a question. When do we make the announcement? Do we do it at Heritage Day? Or do we do it the day after Heritage Day and we process the name?
I'm not sure. I mean, people are going to be coming and going and leaving. They're not necessarily going to be there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, and if we're doing all 500, most of them may not even come to Heritage Day.
Of course. Yeah.
So you mean the announcement about what? The raffle?
Yeah. The
Who
raffle.
won?
So that, oh, no, okay. So that
I think it makes sense to do after.
do after that.
Yeah, because we're going to be busy. We have to consider what we're doing. It's going to be, you remember, Sati, it gets really busy when you're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
to people. And there was 2 of us and we were like tag teaming and we were busy the whole time, no sitting down. And if we're managing people signing up, this is going to, but we have more people this time. So that's great. We're going to have some, people to share the responsibilities, which will be wonderful. But it's going to be, we're going to need to make sure it's a smooth process and not.
Okay. Are we going to advertise this on My Southborough or something or whatever?
Yes, we could do that. Yep. We should do that. Yep.
I mean, if we're going to be giving out gift certificates to REI,
Yep.
I mean, those are really nice, right?
Well, so is Nan's Market and the massages and the botanical garden. They're all very nice.
Right.
Okay.
So that will be one good way of getting the traffic, right, for the announcement of
Yeah.
raffle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about the following of the followers, what if the person is out of state? If we happen to have followers out of state, do we, and the gift certificate doesn't apply to them really, like our REI, maybe not. Most of this is local. So
Then you have to put a disclaimer, I think.
do we have a disclaimer of you need to be a Massachusetts resident?
Yes, you should have.
I mean,
Or
it'd be nice
yeah.
if it's Southborough. Well, it would be, so it's an idea, but a lot of our followers are from the boroughs in the community, right?
Okay.
So, and there's a few maybe international too, but we have a wide spread, right? So I don't want to really exclude Hopkinton residents or Northborough that may come into Southborough. What do you guys think?
I think
worry-
Massachusetts,
I worry about exclusion.
I think Massachusetts residents is good. I guess the only
Yeah.
thing I'd add to that would be, there may be some St. Mark's folks bubbling around who are actually international, but essentially live in Southborough.
Okay, so then they would be considered Massachusetts people. Like you have,
People, let's say people who live in Massachusetts. How's that?
Right. Yeah. Residents of Massachusetts.
there you go. Yeah, live in Mass. What were you saying, Isabel? What do you think, Bella, about do you hear you had mentioned maybe we just do Southborough? Do you have, after I share my exclusion issues, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's fine to just keep it with Massachusetts.
Okay.
We need an Isabella jar, right? $1 goes in every time we screw up the name.
Well, it's easier now. There's one. I love using misnomer. Okay. So the other thing is, so we can announce now, so we have now until Heritage Day to promote this, right? So we'll have to and we're promoting a hike at the same time. So we have to, share our social media space with these two events. Is there anything we can leverage about the hike? Is there anything in the registration page or in the, Eventbrite description? I don't want to overcomplicate the hike, but do we mention it?
Mention what?
Mention the raffle as a way of getting the word out.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be
yeah,
good.
sure.
Why not bring
Mhm.
more attention to the raffle? I mean, that's like kind of the whole point of it, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. So I have to do some thinking about just to make sure that if we use everybody who's a Facebook follower, that's going to be much easier than use anybody who's new to Facebook, right? So we're not splitting the list. That's going to be easier to just take a pot of people and say into the random name spitter out. And then what do we want them to do to enter the raffle? So they need to follow us. Do they need to, let's see. Do we want them to share and tag the post in any way, like share with your Facebook group and tag someone, or just share it? Or do we have any of those types of, because I was just reading a little bit about different contest ideas. So there's different ways of structuring that. Do you guys have any thoughts? Because if each person shares with their group or shares with another person, then you're reaching your audience just multiply, exponentially.
Yeah, I said that I had that idea because like a lot of people on social media, they'll do that as like a way to fundraise or just to auction off stuff. So yeah, like having them take a screen grab or screenshot of a certain post, having them repost it onto their story on Facebook or make a post about it and tag you guys so that who tagged you and you can mark down who it is as well. And then if they share it to other people, they also are required to tag you in order to be eligible for the raffle. So
okay, you sound very knowledgeable. Can we talk offline about the details? Because
yes, we could definitely talk offline.
I'm not exactly sure what all that we need to ask them to do. And I want to test what people can do with our Facebook because we're a public entity. So I don't know if we have certain restrictions, or I think people can tag Trails Committee.
I think since it's public, it should be fine.
Okay. So I just want to, maybe we do some tests to see what is possible, because I don't want to set up a contest and say, oh, whoops, you can't do that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like literally you can't tag Southborough or something like that because of the way our Facebook is structured. Okay.
Yeah, we can talk about this.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so that's great. So I think we have a good structure, and Bella and I, if the committee's comfortable, we'll work out the details, and then we'll update the registration page and get that. Then when we do the My Southborough post, it will be a combo of, hey, here's the hike and here's the raffle, and have fun. And hopefully we'll have like my objective. I would love to get 100 new followers if I put out a number, and we would have 665 followers. That'd be great. Okay, great. So moving on quickly, Heritage Day planning. So I'm going to run down some ideas of what we had last year for displays, and you guys say yay or nay, and please provide any additional thoughts that you have. So some displays that we had last year that we've laminated and can reuse very easily without a lot of work is we have the Eagle Scout projects, that every Eagle Scout project that's been done for the Southborough Trails Committee, we have an 8.5 by 11 picture and project description, and we hang it on a little thing, and it's out for display. So everybody who comes to the booth sees all these Eagle Scout projects, and it's our way of thanking them. Cool.
Yay.
Okay. We have a large, I don't know what it is, Sati, you remember the large Burrows loop map that's laminated now? It's like, poster size, and it fits on an easel, and it'll be sitting outside our little booth. So we have that. And the Burrows loop is relevant still because of our new Peninsula Trail. So we can focus on how the trail is now open. And we have big plans for our project. And we might be able to have some pictures of the footbridge or the boardwalk that we're going to be installing to kind of get people excited about what's coming. Okay. And talk about the accessibility piece. Okay. Then we talked about last time doing, I love this idea, the color dot selection, like select your preferred hike or activity for the next year. What do you want to see trails do for you? And so we can have like a poster, and it will probably be handmade, or maybe we do 8.5 by 11 printed size. But so we'll have some ideas posted up like a grid, and people will just use color dots to indicate what they would like to participate in. So some of those will be the guided hikes from the Choke Fund grant, like the nature hikes or the yoga on the trail or the forest bathing. It will get people excited about what we plan to do. And we can include things like something we've not done before is like a snowshoe hike in the winter, or a cross-country skiing hike, event. I don't want to get into training anybody necessarily on those things, but those are maybe down the line options, but we can include some new things like that we've never done. Any other thoughts on what we might want to include for our activities and ideas? That's kind of a good number of them.
I like it. That sounds good.
Okay, great.
I'm just wondering how we would do like a snowshoe or cross-country skiing walk hike. Would we like get rentals? Because I don't not everyone has them, so it would just be like bring your own.
Yeah, it would be bring your own.
Right.
That's a good idea, Bella, because it might be, depending on rental costs, it might be something we explore that we could work with a local, like REI rents them, I think, or other organizations that rent them, and what would it cost to rent a number of snowshoes? And it might not be a thing for this year, but maybe in the future year, like, could we rent a number of snowshoes to provide an opportunity to people who don't have snowshoes to get out there and snow? So that's something we could explore, I think. And the other thing is scheduling something like that's going to be kind of tricky because you never know when it's going to snow. So it might be one of those things where, hey, stay alert, we're going to do an impromptu cross-country ski or snowshoe the next snow happens, so stay aware. And then we won't have a lot of heads up, and we'll have to do it like, come if you're available, we're going to be out there type of thing. You know what I mean? So it might be something to try. But I like that idea, Bella, because we could do like a snowshoe clinic.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And do some training. And there might be some AMC volunteers who would be willing to do that. Okay, nice. All right, if any other ideas come around, let me know. We have a map book. So a large book, like a, long book that people can just look at maps. So that will be there. We have the 3-ring binders. Sati, you may remember last year, the historical hike that we did. We printed out all these historical pictures. So we'll have those binders as well, so people can flip through. Sign up sheet for Adopt a Trail. So we're kind of revisiting that and seeing if we can get some people signed up who are interested. And the Adopt a Trail program is not you go out and do it, but it's you go out and see it. Let us know that it needs to be done. So we have people walking the trails, different sections throughout the months, and they say, oh, we found a tree down. Oh, the grass is really high here. Can you do something about it? And just let us know. So there are eyes and ears on the trails. So it's not all of us out there, every week trying to figure out what's going on, and a way of getting people engaged. And it can be a fun family event. We really promote that as, get out there with your kids and show them how to be stewards, Does that sound good?
Do we announce these things that in Adopt a Trail, when somebody says that this is there, that way, you're thanking them maybe on the website and Facebook?
That's a good point. So Lisa J, I'll call her out specifically because she is always sending us posts, and I always thank her on Facebook. But I do think we have traditionally used Heritage Day as a way of saying, hey, thank you to all of our current Adopt a Trail volunteers. Lisa J, Matt Bailey has been a volunteer. I'm not sure if he's still one or wants to be one. We can reach out to him. And now Isabel Murphy has agreed to be one near the Lattisquama intersection of White Bagley. So we can thank them for their efforts. And then is that where you're meaning?
Yes.
Are we adequately thanking them? Yeah, that could be something we do. Yep. And then we have a sign up usually for volunteer. If you want to be on a list and we can call you for trail maintenance and things, just sign up. But because we're doing the raffle, we're going to probably focus our efforts on e-alerts. And if we'll have a separate list, if people want to be on a maintenance volunteer list as well. But we're probably going to get more focus on the e-alerts since we need to focus our attention on what we're doing. And make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's really it. And so usually we have our banner up and our little 10 by 10 tent, and we have a table, and we have had a computer up. So Will's idea was a really good one where we have people sign up. So we might want a couple of computers. We've had a computer with rolling pictures, just rolling pictures of all the things we've ever done on trails. So people kind of walk into the booth and poke around and see stuff. So if anybody else has any ideas, please share. Okay, great. And it should be fairly simple this year for setup. Most of this stuff is already printed. We might just have to print a couple more things, and I have a laminator, so I'll just laminate them away and we'll be good. And I guess we'll connect closer to the time to figure out our schedule. I know we talked preliminary schedule last week or last meeting. Okay, I think we're in good shape. So Isabella, I will touch base with you after and to figure out the Facebook stuff, and we'll go from there. So I think I'm very excited about Heritage Day this year. I think it'll be fun. Okay.
It sounds good. Me too.
All right. Moving quickly. So we don't really have to talk about the Choate Fund the next steps with Hike Series, because that's going to be wrapped into the Heritage Day. We're asking people to pick what they want to do. So that will be an outcome of that. Shed. So we bought a shed. We talked about that last time, and I reached out to Skip Shed. So our shed is on display because it's a special shed. It's on display at the Big E Fair out west, and it will be available for delivery after October 3rd. So I reached out to Skip, said, hey, can you deliver it on the 4th or the 5th? And Skip said, not sure. I'll get back to you. There's lots of stuff going on. We'll let you know. So DPW is going to assist with the prep of the soil and getting all the gravel and stuff ready for the delivery. And they're going to assist them because it's going to be a big truck. And it's kind of, DPW wanted to be there to ensure that getting in there was not a problem and delivering the shed is not a problem given the location. So
do we need to have a representative there?
Yes. So I was going to be there, but I might not be able to be there because the next following 2 weeks, I have some travel in North Carolina. So I might need to call on a trails rep if I can't be there to help deliver if the delivery date doesn't work out. So having said that, we may get a shed the week of October 3rd, or it might be the week of the 17th or the 24th. It just depends. So I'll keep you posted on when we should get a shed. Exciting news on that is there was another Facebook, the recycling page. Someone was giving away a post hole digger and a pickaxe. So I picked those up today. So we have a few more tools for our shed. Free tools are great tools. So now we have 2 post hole diggers and more
Now,
pickaxes.
do those belong to the Trails Committee or to
Yes, I will donate
you?
those to the Trails
Oh,
Committee.
you're going to donate those? Okay.
Yep.
So these are, for tax purposes, are probably $300,000 or $400,000 worth of tools, right?
Not quite that much, Will, but I will be putting together a list of the value so that we can share with taxpayers, because there was a lot of ARPA money shared this year. And we want to make sure we've represented that we've done our due diligence to try to reuse what we could for, tools and stuff. And let's all give Sati credit, because it was his idea years ago to ask people to donate tools. And so we took that idea from him and leveraged it. And now this recycle page is up, and that's just a wonderful opportunity to grab tools. So I will be kind of like, this is what we've gotten for free. And if we had paid for them, this was the value of those new, so that people understand what the value is, and we'll be able to highlight that later.
Mm.
And we'll have a nice inventory list. And I have to share, I'm very excited about the shed, and I'm more excited about organizing the shed. It's just, I can't wait to get in there. And also I can't wait to empty my garage so that I have a little more space for stuff.
Well, also, look around the shed and see if there are places we could stick some type of LED, touch light or something inside.
Oh yeah.
Or even motion, well, not motion detector. You want one that's just touch sensor, so it doesn't have a battery that's running down all the time.
Yeah, so there's a thing with backpackers, this inflatable solar powered lantern. You guys may have seen it. And they are awesome. And so we have a couple windows. We could have a few of those lanterns in the windows. And like when we're ready to use and go into the shed, we just pop those lanterns open and we would have light everywhere and solar powered.
No, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. So they'd be, well, I guess the only question would be, will they charge through the window, is what you're saying?
I
Right.
think so. I have a solar power lantern, a little one, and I stick it in the window all the time at home. And then I use it when I'm backpacking.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
Depends on where the window is facing. So
well, it doesn't need direct light, it just
Right.
needs light, right? So
yeah,
but
I mean,
tap lights are great too.
they're pretty good nowadays. Yeah.
So I think there's a few options we have. So very exciting. And then trail maintenance, I think we don't need to talk about that much now. Website updates, those will be done by Heritage Day, because we're, also driving people to the website, and then schedule next meeting. So before I do schedule next meeting, any other comments or thoughts on anything today? We went a little bit longer, but I really thought it was a productive, very great meeting to get a lot done.
I don't know if anybody looked at the thing I sent out,
Oh, yes,
with
thank you.
respect-
Will.
the Forest Service thing. I
That's
was
a-
thinking that we could there's a section in there why, accessibility is important. And we could take that and I could wordsmith, take out the points, and it has some nice statistics and things like that, and kind of wordsmith something up, and then we could take a look at that at the next meeting.
Yeah, this is related to the accessibility and inclusion statement that we've been wanting to put forward since
Yeah.
so thank you, Will. I think that's a great idea. And to appropriately note that some of this was referred to from, taken from the forest, to give them credit for it so that we're not plagiarizing, but also to direct people to those reresources, to have a little reference section, so to speak.
Sure. I mean, that's their guide is very good. I mean, it's kind of written for national parks, I think, but it certainly gives you a lot of good ideas, and it also has some key accessibility guidelines in terms of the width of trail and,
Yes.
things like that.
Perfect. Thank you for circulating that. That's going to work out perfect. All right, so let's do next meeting. I don't think we need to meet before Heritage Day, which is 10/10. So I'll keep you guys posted on the registration numbers. I'll just send out informational posts. They won't be for deliberation. They won't be for conversation. They'll just be information so you're aware of what we're doing and how successful we are. But if you are on social media and you want to share with a friend or two, or personal invites, if you know someone in Southborough, 1 or 2 people that you think might benefit from coming, let's invite them. And hey, Will, you mentioned the Trailblazers. I mean, we should reach out to them specifically. And I'm just curious, I'm on their email list, but do you hike with them all the time, right?
Yeah, one of the major players is Marianne Anderson.
Yeah, isn't she the leader?
She's the leader, and then
Yeah.
Carl Guire, he organizes a lot of hikes.
Yeah.
So
you want to reach out to them and share the information with them?
sure. I guess
say-
I need to, if you can give me the official information to share,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
I will, and I can actually share with all of you a little blurb so that you don't have to make up the language yourself, if that's helpful, and you can take from it whatever you want to make it your own. But certainly invite people that you know or that you think might want to attend. Even if it's 1 times all of us, that's more people. And I think we do have someone has registered while we were online. So that is great news. Catherine Rose. Welcome, Catherine. She's got 1 ticket. So that's exciting to see these come in. Okay, so next meeting, my calendar is broken. All right, so Heritage Day is 10/10. I'm going to be away part of the week and then the next week. How about, let's stay away from the select board dates. What is that? Oh, he said it was the 3rd. I bet it's the 4th and the 18th. How about the 25th of October? It's a Tuesday.
Right now looks okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks okay right now. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. But
Okay.
Tuesday would be good. Yeah.
Okay. Bella, how do you feel on Tuesday?
I might not be able to make that date.
Okay. How about Wednesday, the 26th? Or are you going to be out of town for a week or more? Or do you have a suggestion?
That would be better, the 26th.
I think the 26th will be fine for me too.
Okay. How about you, Sati?
I don't know yet.
No?
I don't.
Okay.
We can put that date and we'll see.
Okay. So let's target the October 26th. I'll go ahead and reserve a Zoom meeting, but if it does change for you, Sati, let me know and we'll
Okay,
see what
sure.
we can do. It's far
Is that
enough
good?
out that we have some time to play.
Is that going to be at 7:30?
That work for everyone?
And I didn't get a panelist thing for this one.
I'm sorry about that. I think
No,
it's hit or
I don't
miss.
know. I don't know how those happen. They're all magic to me.
Yeah, it is magic. I stay out of it. But we're happy to share the link as we did. So I'm glad you got it. Okay.
Okay.
So if there's nothing else, we're going to meet on the 26th at 7:30, which is a Wednesday now. And can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
Great. And let's do a roll call vote. Satyendra Sharma,
Yes.
Will Warren,
Yes.
Isabella Bogdansky,
Yes.
Kat McKee. Yes. All right. Thank you all. Have a great night and we'll be in touch.
Right, bye, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.